because whoever's watching this is going to be really bored.
For real.
We pull everything up.
Let's go to the computer. Okay. So we're just supposed to pull from the answers we got from the survey. And I'll share my screen so we can have, or I'll throw them in the chat. The questions. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but like the little survey thing, like I like that it was pretty easy, and honestly, I thought it was kind of fun just like seeing people's reactions. One person said conflict is like constipation. I was like, I don't even know what that means, but I don't really care.
How did they expound on that?
Got a lot of responses like conflict is like undesirable, uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was a common theme.
So a lot of my friends apparently like absolutely hate it. So like they do anything they can to avoid it.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah. Then you get like the
conflict
sappy
is
ones
like
too.
running my fingers against a cheese grater.
Jeez. Like, do they take time to like think about that, or do they just like whip it out? Like, here's my answer. Because I got some. It sounds like you got some creative ones there.
There was some creative ones for sure.
One of them was like, conflict is something I avoid like the plague.
Nice.
Yep.
I had one said, it's like electronic music. It's annoying. They don't like it. So I thought that was fair.
There's this one girl that I asked. I thought hers was pretty cool. She was like, conflict is like hitting the target but missing the bullseye. I was like, that's like deep. I'm not even quite sure what it means, but like it sounds good.
Good luck unwrapping that one. Jeez. I mean, I actually had a 50-50 split. So I had half positive, half negative. I guess I got some happy people in my life, I guess.
Negative.
Mostly negative?
Yeah, mine were mostly negative also.
I had one. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid.
Conflict. Did you get that question? Did you catch that question?
Yeah.
Did you ask like how we?
Yeah. How do you guys view it?
Oh, how do we view it?
Yeah. Or what is conflict to you?
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and I think I was defining it differently than like the way that people were taking it, because I think when the answers that I got was like, it seemed like people were talking about like arguments and like fighting and that kind of thing. I looked at conflict more like just like as opposition, like that it was like a way to almost like bounce ideas off of each other and like get further than you would on your own. So I looked at it as a positive thing.
What about you, John?
I tend to look at it as an obstacle, like something that's in my way and I have to like overcome it. So I guess in that sense it's negative. But it doesn't always have to be that way.
I've always avoided conflict. It's always super awkward for me to deal with. I don't know. I come from a family that kind of just avoids problems and pretends that everything's okay. And then I married into a family that just gets everything out in the open. And so I've seen the pros and cons of both. I think there's definitely more pros of like using conflict to just get everything out and air everything out. But
yeah, because if you hold it in, then it just like it just all explodes.
No, completely, totally. And so it's definitely better to do it my wife's family way, to just air it out. I think there's the right way to do it and there's the wrong way to do it, and the wrong way happens sometimes. But I think when...
Yeah, I was going to say, even airing it out, like, isn't necessarily always the best way to do it.
Right.
It's like how you air it out. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Like when you come out to like attack someone, pick on someone. I think that happens in families too. Like something will get brought up, and then the whole family will just dogpile on that person and on that, I guess, flaw, and then that's when it turns into just a fight. So you got to avoid that. But like when there's good intentions and there's a process to it, like kind of what we learned this week. That's when it's a good thing.
In the reading, did you guys identify with either of the like argument styles from the arguers as lovers section?
Yes.
No.
I felt, I feel bad saying it, but like I definitely can relate to the seducing part, because it's like with the seducing, you don't kind of realize you're doing it, but like you're kind of just doing. Yeah, like you come across as wanting the best for the other person, but really you have your underlining agenda and what you want to accomplish. And so I had to reflect on that with myself and repent for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mine was like, it depends on who I'm with, like who I'm arguing with.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm arguing with another male, I usually tend to attack
Yeah.
them like head on. If I'm trying to resolve a conflict with like a girl, I'm usually the other way around. So that was interesting to think about.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's just interesting to like reflect on like who we are, because who of us would resolve conflict with, with like men versus women or anything like that. So I thought it was kind of cool just to like notice something.
I asked my brother, I was like, hey, when I argue, how do I argue? And he's like, you chuck swear words and insults like crazy. And I was like, oh, cool. Right. So
That's funny.
That's an interesting question to ask somebody that knows you, because they
That's
can
true.
like drill down, be like, oh shoot.
Because that's who you're comfortable with. That's where like your true self just really comes out, and you don't really hold anything back because you don't care. That's funny.
Okay, what else do we have to talk about?
I guess what negative views?
Boxes here.
Yeah, what negative views of conflict have you held in the past? Have we talked about that?
Kind of. Like, we said you avoid conflict, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad to hold it all in. And I tend to look at it as an obstacle. And then what did you say, Mark?
I talked about like my positive view on it, but like negative view of conflict, like I used to just like allow whatever just to happen. Like I would just like lay down and just like let someone walk all over me because it was better in my mind than conflict. But like I've seen the light.
That is a question though I had kind of doing the reading, like when it comes to the love category. Does that mean sometimes that we give in to necessarily what we want, that we like let ourselves get walked over, like maybe not get walked over, but like we have to compromise even if it means that we lose more, like we lose more in that compromise? Like does that always mean we're like that to a fault, or can we still like stand up for ourselves, if that makes sense?
I think you can stand up for yourself, but without being nasty to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
If I can be that guy that brings up like Nephi,
Go for it.
like Nephi, they like try to get the plates and fail, and they're like, all right, cool, let's go back to dad. But Nephi, he was just like, no guys, like this is what's right. So
Right.
I totally think it's appropriate to like stand your ground if it's correct.
Okay. Being loving is not always going to be the most peaceful thing. Like, it doesn't mean you have to be peaceful and please everyone. But yeah, like that. If it's right,